Good day all, welcome back to a wet South Africa, and this is South African Prepper. So the last 2 days we've had some fantastic rain. So unfortunately I can't go into work because of all of the rain. The fields are just too wet. So I quickly want to talk to you about there's two parts of this video. The one part is just a summary of the State of the Nation address of last night. It'll be a short version. And then the most important side of this video is the preparedness video, which is all about boots, jackets, and hats. So a summary of last night when the president spoke, the president of South Africa. So all of the promises that he made, you can just write it down, okay, and throw it in the bin because it will never happen. We've learned over the last 15 years that whatever they say is just mouth flapping. But what did actually stand out, they declared a state of disaster regarding the electricity crisis in South Africa. Now, if you are South African, you will know that this specific crisis is a government-made problem. Okay, they caused the problem by corruption, looting, card deployment, and getting rid of all. Let's just look into each other's eyes and say it. White engineers, technicians, managers, because of BEE policies. So they have been given a list from an organization which suggested that the government re-employ, I think the list is about 500 people long, engineers, technicians that volunteered to go help the government resolve the electricity shortage in South Africa. Now, South Africa does not have a lack of coal, okay? We actually, since the Russian-NATO war, we started exporting more and more coal to Europe, more than ever. So it's quite ironic that we are sending our coal, our A-grade coal to Europe, but we cannot burn it for ourselves for electricity. So the state of disaster is a big red flag because this will give this corrupt government certain powers again. Now, this is the same legislation that they used during 2020 to tell you that you cannot buy flip-flops and buy hot chickens. If you're from somewhere across the world, yes, they stopped us to buy flip-flops, even soccer balls, which you wanted to play with during lockdown, hot chicken, and all sorts of funny regulations. You weren't allowed to go onto the beach or take your dog for a walk. So I do believe that they will use this again for power. They will use this to get all of those green loans from abroad, okay, which they will then again steal and loot, and the problem will never be solved. So keep a watch out for that if you are South African. You're going to be seeing the first, and I'm going to be called a conspiracy theorist again, but this is going to be the first energy lockdown or climate lockdown that you're going to see in the world. They're going to try it. So forget about all the promises that Cyril Ramaphosa made you last night. It's not going to happen. Okay, they're flapping gums. It will never happen. So let's get back to the most important part of this video, and this is the preparedness side. So sometimes preppers do forget that certain things, basic things, are extremely important. And when it comes to survival and when shit hits the fan, there are certain things that if you have them, they will just make your life much easier. So 3 of these items are stuff that people tend to forget. And let's start with the first one is boots. Now, I always say when it comes to these 3 items, boots, jackets, and hats, you need to buy them according to your financial ability. If you can afford to spend good money on a good jacket and a hat and boots, then go do it. Okay, but don't go into credit for it. So use what you have effectively. So boots is extremely important. I wear leather boots every single day of my life. I prefer leather boots because if I take care of them weekly and I do maintenance on them weekly, they do stay waterproof. Leather tends to over time mature, so it becomes more comfortable. But you do get the military type ripstop boots that you can buy at the surplus stores that are also good. So just make sure that you buy the best boot that you can afford. Okay, a boot that will allow you to walk, let's call it for days and days at end. Okay, so that you can have something to put on when shit hits the fan. I think sometimes people think when shit hits the fan, it's going to be easy. And these things will make it a little bit easier for you. When shit hits the fan happens, things are not going to be nice. It's not going to be comfortable. And everything that you can do to make life a bit more bearable for you and to give you a chance to actually survive, you need to prepare for that. So the second thing is jackets, okay? There are various jackets that you can get. I'm a big fan of the old German Parker jackets. They look like big long coats. The only problem with them is that they are too big. And it's very, very difficult if you're out in the field with all of your kit to move with those jackets. So it's good to have a jacket. Again, you must buy according to what you can afford, but you have to buy a jacket that suits your climate. So in South Africa, I went and I bought many years ago, I bought a jacket that can go to -8, -9 degrees Celsius, and it's a jacket where I can put my vest, my plated vest over, and I can put a backpack over, and it will still keep me warm. Okay, so a jacket is extremely important. An old military technique is to layer as well. So you'll have different layers and then you'll put on your big jacket when it gets really, really cold. And then the second thing is hats. Now, hats are extremely important in South Africa because we've got the African sun. So a big rimmed round hat is always good because you need to keep the sun out of your face and the back of your neck, and especially your ears. And with the hat category, you need some kind of a beanie as well. Now, again, you need to buy it according to, we always buy on the principle of the worst climate that you can expect. So when I went out and I bought beanies, we bought beanies that could take -7, -8 degrees Celsius, because that is how cold it gets in certain parts of South Africa, in the central parts of South Africa. So you can also buy then beanies that are not or will not go as cold as -7 or 8, maybe just to keep you through the colder summer nights. So boots, jackets and hats, and I want to add with that some kind of eye protection. Now, I wear sunglasses every single day because I work out in the sun. But if you can go and buy cheap safety glasses at your local hardware, those clear ones, just to keep the dust and all of the crap out of your eyes. Because there's nothing worse than being in the veld or being in the bush and then the wind blows and there's dust in your eyes, or you get leaves in your eyes. Or self-protection is very important when it comes to survival. And then with the boots, I want to add, with the boots, socks. The old military guys will tell you, and when I did my service as well, it used to be a slip because every single day they did feet inspection. Feet are extremely important. So I want to say that having the right pair of boots and having the right socks are extremely important for when shit hits the fan. So what do we do? What do I personally do? I've got a specific crate, okay? And in that crate, I have got my self-defense setup. That's my vest, my pants, okay, my socks, my boots, my hats, and my pew-pews, Okay, so for me it's very easy when stuff really gets hot to maybe grab that stuff, okay, put it in the vehicle or maybe take it out, and within 3 to 4 minutes, and we've tested this before, I can immediately put on my gear. So I am within, let's call it 5 minutes, I am ready for action. And that is called being prepared. That is being proactive. Have we ever used it in this way physically? No, we've not. Have we tested it before? Yes, we do often. Often I take out the crate and I time myself and I see how fast I can put it on. And this normally shows you what works and what doesn't work. And then we take this gear and we go to the shooting range. I almost said driving range, the shooting range, and we go test it. We go roll around in the mud, we go roll around in the dust, and we physically see what works and what doesn't work. So when it comes to boots, jackets, and hats, okay, go test it out. Put it on. Put on your boots and go take a walk, 2, 3, 4 kilometers. Because if you are busy preparing, you should be fit as well. Go and test that jacket. Go and sleep outside for one night with that jacket and see if it actually works. Go test out the beanie and the big rimmed hat to see if you can keep the sun out. Because when shit hits the fan, you need to know that the stuff that you have, the gear that you have, is reliable. So rather go buy once and spend a little bit of extra money and buy properly the right stuff that you need, and you know that jacket will last you for a lifetime. And I promise you, if you buy the correct boots, you buy the correct jacket, you buy the correct hats and beanies, it will last you an extremely long time. Because these are things in our normal daily life that we don't use every single day. But when shit hits the fan, you're going to use it every single day. And you're going to need it to work. So you need to go out, you need to go test it. This is South African Prepper. Guys, please like, share and subscribe. And drop a comment so we can hear from you. God bless.